Hello, I'm Michael.
I'm Sally, and this is Wrestle MSX.
The show opened with Jimmy Uso. Basically, he plans on kicking Solo Sikoa's butt later tonight, and that's all he's been thinking about for the last 6 months. He's then joined in the ring by Roman Reigns. Reigns asks the crowd to join him and acknowledge Big Jim, which they do after the second time of asking. Roman says they used to have money, power and respect, and now they're out of control. Reigns also claims they're the GOATs. I'm not sure about that. He finishes off by saying he doesn't like where he is at the moment, and that they're the ones. Jimmy responds by saying, "We're not though. You needed my help at Bad Blood. We need help. I know someone who can help us." Roman says, "No yeet." Jimmy finishes off by saying he's the only one in the family that still acknowledges him before leaving the ring.
Next up, a title match. Carmelo Hayes against LA Knight for the United States Championship. Just before the bout started, Corey Graves said he caught up with Hayes earlier and that if Hayes wins, he's going to bring back the spinner title. Yes. Knight took early control, sending Hayes to the outside. Knight followed. Andrade then made an appearance from the timekeeper's area. He watched on as the two combatants fought it out until they ended up back in the ring. Back from the break and Knight's still in control. With a pop-up power slam and big elbow, the follow-up pin only getting a 2 count. Knight launches a huge elbow from the top rope, but once again only gets a 2 count on the cover. So Knight decides to go for the BFT. Hayes manages to counter it, axe kick Knight and go for his own cover. This also only gets a 2 count. After a missed nothing but net and backslide attempts by Hayes, Knight executes BFT and manages to pick up the win with the following cover and retain his United States Championship. No spinner belt yet then.
Backstage, Jimmy Uso bumps into Cody Rhodes. Rhodes thanks Jimmy for his help at Bad Blood. Jimmy tells him to consider it a favour, but not to expect any more.
Tag action next as Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend from NXT take on Jade, Cargill and Bianca Belair for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. As Jackson and Legend make their way down the ramp, Kevin Owens rolls into the ring near the announcer's table.
Is he fighting him?
And says he was told not to come here tonight and that it was Cody Rhodes who turned on him. His mic is then cut. So he gets out the ring, gets Graves' headset and continues to plead his innocence. Rhodes then heads out from the back, taking off his waistcoat, ready to fight, with Owens getting back in the ring, ready to do likewise. But backstage staff keep them apart. Orton then heads out and gets in the ring, asking Owens to calm down. Owens elbows Orton. Orton strikes back. Then the two look at one another, seemingly upset that it's come to this. Owens gets out the ring and we head for a break.
So, back to the action and a tag team match we were promised. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven are also at ringside watching on. The two pretenders to the crown, Jackson and Legend, take out the champs from the start and then single out Belair, hitting her with double T moves and 3 pin attempts. Cargill saves Belair on a 2 count before being kicked back out the ring. Belair is then thrown from the ring with Jackson following. Legend then joins them outside before big booting Green over the announcer's table. She then lines Belair up for a big boot, but Belair manages to get her foot up and kick Legend before getting back in the ring and tagging in Cargill. Cargill boots Jackson, who followed Belair back into the ring before knocking Legend off the apron. The champions then hit Jackson with their tandem finisher DDT into a German suplex, with Cargill covering her for the win. Can we please find a name for this finisher? I mean, I can't keep saying that, and nobody's coming up with something. They need a name for it.
Back from the break, and we see Randy Orton telling Cody Rhodes to calm down, get on his tour bus and get out of here, while he goes back inside and talks to Owens. Nick Aldis, also there, tells Cody that he needs him to focus on winning at Crown Jewel.
Next, we hear from Nia Jax, who's in the ring with Tiffany Stratton. Jax credits Bayley for the match they had at Bad Blood and then declares that nobody on this planet can beat her, especially not her counterpart on Raw, Liv Morgan. Jax then says that after she annihilates Morgan at Crown Jewel, it'll be Tiffy time, and then gets Stratton in a playful headlock. Jax then tells Stratton that that's when you cash in on Liv Morgan. Naomi then heads out, accusing Jax of not being able to win without her little sidekick. Naomi gets in the ring, with her and Jax having a verbal spar before Jax calls out to Nick Aldis to send a referee down so they can have a match. Just then, Liv Morgan's music plays, with Raquel Rodriguez heading out, followed by Morgan and Mysterio. Morgan says she came to make an example of her, but she seems to have her hands full, so she's going to sit at ringside and watch her lose, just as she will at Crown Jewel.
Back from the break, and the match is well underway, with Jax in control. Naomi turns it around, sending Jax out the ring and then following her. They fight over to the timekeeper's area, where Jax manages to Samoa drop Naomi in front of Morgan and co. At this point, I thought it was going to kick off, but we go to a break. Come back and we're back in the ring.
Naomi bulldogs Jax into the middle turnbuckle, crossbodies her from the top rope and covers her for a 2. The two women end up back outside the ring, but as Jax gets back in, Stratton kicks Naomi and then goes to hit her with a briefcase. As she's about to, Rodriguez grabs it, stopping her. Naomi gets back up, kicks Stratton and then heads to the top rope. Jax goes over and headbutts her, bringing her back down to the mat and climbs the rope to annihilate her. As she does though, Rodriguez gets on the apron, distracting the referee. Oh, every time. With him distracted, Morgan uses Stratton's briefcase to hit Jax, which in turn allows Naomi to recover, get up and powerbomb Jax.
Naomi then pins Jax in a, well, as you can see, pinning position, and steals a victory. As Morgan, Mysterio and Rodriguez gloat at the top of the rampway, Rhea Ripley's music plays out. She takes out Rodriguez, with Morgan making her escape to the ring. As she climbs in, she gets caught by Jax. Ripley, though, is in hot pursuit, runs down to the ring, gets in, and boots Jax, downing her. Rhea then grabs hold of Morgan, but Dom gets on the ropes, distracting Rhea, allowing Morgan to escape unharmed.
Close call. Backstage, Hayes complains to Aldis about Andrade screwing him out of his US title match. Aldis says that by his calculations they tied at 3 wins apiece, so Game 7, I think that's a basketball reference. And the winner of that may find themselves in line for a US title shot. As Hayes walks off, Santos Escobar and co appear, asking for opportunities. Aldis says we'll have a tag match lined up for Las Garza next week. Escobar seems happy with this and they walk off.
Back from the break, and we see what I think is a vignette for Motor City Machine Guns.
I'm pretty, 100% sure on this.
Yeah. Before we head backstage and we see the Street Profits arguing with DIY. As they argue in front of Nick Aldis, he gets distracted and then runs outside to see Kevin Owens beating up Randy Orton. The two are eventually separated, with Orton left battered on the floor.
Last match of the night, Solo Sikoa versus Jimmy Uso. Solo with Tama Tonga, Tangaloa and Jacob Fatu. The match began with a bloodline surrounding the ring and Solo telling Jimmy that he will acknowledge him. Jimmy then attacks Solo, but it's not long before Solo gains the upper hand, with Fatu even getting in a cheap shot when the ref isn't looking. Just as it seems Jimmy is rallying though, Solo stops him in his tracks, hitting him off the apron to the outside, where Fatu once again attacks as Solo distracts the referee.
Back from the break, and Jimmy is mounting a comeback, only to be downed with a spinning heel kick and then a spinning rock bottom. Solo. Sikoa goes for the pin, but only gets a 2. A running corner butt face seems to take it out of Big Jim. But as he charges at Jimmy for a second one, Jimmy explodes out the corner, catching Solo with a kick before landing more kicks and a crossbody from the top rope. Jimmy follows up with a pin, but only manages a 2 count. Fatu and Loa then get on the apron.
Of course they do.
But Uso deals with them before ducking a Samoan spike from Solo before Samoan dropping him, and the cover gets a 2. Jimmy climbs to the top rope, but Tama distracts the ref and Jacob attacks Jimmy. This allows Solo to Samoan spike Jimmy and then cover him for the win.
Them refs. Don't take much, does it? The Bloodline then get in the ring, beating up Jimmy some more. As they do, Roman's music plays and he comes storming out. Superman punching Fatu, tossing Tama out the ring, and then Superman punching Loa, leaving just Solo and Roman in the ring, alone. As the two get their hands on each other, Fatu gets back in the ring, downing Reigns and then running at him in the corner. Jimmy makes a comeback but gets floored by a super kick from Jacob. Fatu follows this up with a moonsault on the downed Uso. The tag champs then hold Reigns as Solo delivers a Samoan spike to him. SmackDown goes off the air with the Bloodline on the rampway and Solo saying, "No one can stop us." And Jimmy saying to Roman in the ring that we need help. And yes, they do.
Yeah.
So, they get Jimmy with Roman, but who else? I mean, this is a Bloodline feud. They can't really... you can ask Cody, but you're not going to ask Cody.
Exactly.
You're not going to ask Owens. You're only asking Orton. So maybe Sammy and Honorary Use.
Yeah,
I mean,
makes
they
sense.
need... I mean, it's Jimmy, Jay, Roman.
Maybe Sammy. Don't know who else.
I
Because
don't
even
know.
if Heyman comes back, he's not really
Well,
going
he's
to
not going to
help.
wrestle, is it? Come on, Paul, get in that ring.
Yeah.
I don't know, but they need one more. Maybe it's another family that makes The
Well,
Rock.
yeah, someone might come. You
Maybe
never know.
The Rock's going to be on. I don't think so. Anyway, they need someone else. Thank you again for watching.
And see you for Raw on Tuesday.